Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we're going to be looking at the Pluckeye short bow, which is a normal difficulty unique. It is also a treasure class 3 unique, which is relatively low level, which means that you're probably only going to find this in basically normal difficulty Act 1. For the most part, these treasure class item 3 items, they're just really difficult to find in higher levels. In fact, if you do find a Pluckeye, not in normal difficulty Act 1, it's like winning the lottery. It has a two-handed damage of 2 to 8, which for a level 7 item is fine. A chippy bow, unfortunately, would do a hell of a lot more damage than the Pluckeye short bow, but damage doesn't seem to be what the Pluckeye short bow is actually concerned with. The entire purpose of this bow seems to be revolving around mana restoration. So you look at it from that point of view, it seems a little bit better than looking at it from the damage point of view. So we have 100% increased damage on this bow, which is actually a pretty nice amount of increase for a level 7 bow. They're usually nowhere near that much. It's like 50% or like 75%. So 100% is actually pretty high, and it is a static effect, so it doesn't change. We also have 28 attack rating, which certainly will come in handy to make sure you're landing your hits early on in the game. And then 3% mana steal, which on the surface seems kind of nice, but because of the low damage of the Pluckeye, it does mean it doesn't really actually hit as hard and steal as much mana as you would think. We have plus 10 life, which is actually pretty massive at level 7, and will probably help you out a ton. And then we have plus 2 to mana after each kill, which in combination with the mana steal will probably keep your mana full for the most part while using this bow at an early level. Since it is focused mainly on mana, it's probably not a good bow to put on a low-level mercenary, although you could. And then it also has plus 2 light radius as well, which could help you see in those dark catacombs. Now, this particular bow has no variables whatsoever, which means that it does not change. When you find this, it's always going to be a perfect Pluckeye short bow. What this bow is really used for is mana restoration. If you are an Amazon who is going down, say for instance, the cold arrow or the fire arrow tree, the mana cost on those skills is actually kind of crazy. And having something that would restore 2 mana per hit, or sorry, 2 mana per kill when you're firing exploding arrows or firing ice arrows early on, could definitely come in handy. And same thing for magic arrows. You could also use it for magic arrows or multi-shot or any of those things. The real downside, unfortunately, is just that it doesn't have a lot of physical damage. It can be upgraded, and that's what we're going to explore. So let's see what happens when you upgrade a Pluckeye to its exceptional level version. So we're going to go from the Pluckeye short bow, 2 to 8 damage, 15 dex requirement, level 7. And let me move myself out of the way so you guys can actually see it. Bink. So 2 to 8, 15 dex, level 7, to the Pluckeye edge bow, 12 to 38, 43 dex, 25 strength, and level 23. Not like terrible, but not amazing either. I mean, it's decent. The mana steal is obviously going to do a hell of a lot more at 12 to 38 than it was ever going to do at 2 to 8. And the plus 2 mana after each kill will still be fairly nice. Not really sure that was worth the upgrade, but I mean, if you had it laying around, it certainly wouldn't be awful. I mean, we go from 21 to 86 to 88 to 305. I'm pretty sure that's cold damage there, lightning damage there. There we go. So 70 to 223 at level 23, which probably would be fine for that level. Let's take a look at the elite version of this, which is probably going to be a silly upgrade. But let's do it anyway, because I always upgrade my items 2 times. So the Pluckeye edge bow goes from 12 to 38, 43 dex, 25 strength, level 23. To the Pluckeye spider bow, 46 to 100, 143 dexterity, 64 strength, level 53. So unfortunately, because it has relatively low enhanced damage, it doesn't upgrade well to the elite form, and that's one of the biggest issues with a lot of these bows, is that when you compare them, for instance, to something like a Wind Force, which has 250% enhanced. I mean, we have an extra 150% enhanced on this bow in combination with maximum damage and other effects. And it also has Mana Steal. So really, when you look at the Pluckeye probably belongs at Tier 1 or Tier 2. Tier 3, not really a good upgrade. And honestly, it doesn't really have much usefulness past, say, like Act 2 for making your character have more mana. One thing you could do is you could socket this with like a +2 mana after each kill jewel or something like that, or can't even remember if the tier rune works in a bow. You could also put a skull in there. You could put all sorts of interesting things in there that would be like sort of on level, so you could just use it as a mana restoration tool for a low level character. Unfortunately, Pluckeye really suffers from not enough enhanced damage and not enough really like special effects on it to really make it worth using past, say, like level 15. I feel like around level 15 it falls off too much and doesn't really do enough damage, and you kind of need to move on. You could utilize this on maybe like an enchant sorceress though, just to restore mana. It could be kind of funny. Not really. I just really wish it had more physical damage to go along with that Mana Steal. That would really make it a lot better. Let's take a look over at Silo's Pen real quick, and let's see where we can actually find this if you want to get your hands on it. Because quite honestly, it's kind of rare, and you probably would have to target farm some very specific areas to get your hands on this item. You'll transform, fit to screen. There we go. Make this a little bit bigger so we can see it better. Alright, so Pluckeye with about 50% Magic Find, because it's a level 7 item. I can't imagine having more than about 50% Magic Find at level 7. And we're looking at bosses, and as you can see here, normal Andariel is 1 in 1003, and Bloodraven is 1 in 2299. Honestly, Bloodraven is probably your best bet here, because Bloodraven is, after all, around level 7. Which is where you would actually want to use this item. Because by the time you fight Andariel, you're going to be around level 15, and it's not going to be much use to you at that point if you find it from Andariel. So Bloodraven is most likely the better choice there. As far as super uniques go, as you can see, we've got a lot of low-level monsters. So Pit Spawn Foul Dog is in jail level 2. We've got the Countess and Tower Soul level 5. Bone Ash in the Cathedral also drops this, and the Smith. So as you can see, a lot of low-level monsters. The lower level, the better, it seems, because, like, for instance, the Smith is a little bit higher level, and he has a really poor chance. Whereas Pit Spawn Foul Dog is a little bit lower level monster, and his chance is 1 in 1,926. I mean, you'd probably be better off just farming Bone Ash over and over again, but you could potentially try and find Pit Spawn. There's no waypoint next to him, though. You can do jail level 1, and you can go down, or you can do Inner Cloister, and you can go up. It's up to you. Not really a lot of good choices there, though. I mean, Bone Ash is easy to farm, but his drop rate is awful. It's just awful. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos. This one was bound to be a short one because, you know, after all, we're just plucking eyes, and we're not actually killing people. We're just plucking people's eyes out. So, anyway, as always, keep watching.